Welcome to the Molybdenum Software Show. Hope you
Hello.
enjoy.
Okay.
What is it, Jeremy?
All right. I think you might have seen this PR go by. Uh, so this is about the none-ls built-in, the Nix Flake FMT built-in.
Yes.
Um, so something I've been vaguely uncomfortable about is the way that built-in works right now. If you open a malicious repository and then save a file, it can run arbitrary code on your laptop or computer. And so I feel like that's something that would require, like, users should be aware of. So stuff like VS Code or other IDEs have a concept of trusting a project or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's
I
somewhat
asked,
dichotomous, and like, how do you know that you trust? But at least the user has a choice.
how do you know that you trust? Like, oh,
Yeah, well, how
if
do you
you
make a
ask
decision
me.
to trust the project? Yeah.
Yeah. At least I'm like burdening the user with this, as opposed to just, wait, what the hell? This thing just runs arbitrary code and I didn't know. Like in the same way that Duranv asks you to run Duran Valau.
Mm-hmm.
How do you actually know that Duran Valau is okay to do? It's like, well, maybe you don't. So the reason I'm bringing this up now is because there was a bug with NeoVim. You couldn't actually like trust directories. So I fixed that bug in NeoVim a while ago. And then I was waiting for it to get released. And this has recently landed in a release of NeoVim. Why can I not find? Oh, this is the. Okay. Here we go. Here's the commit. And this landed in NeoVim 0.11.2. So like now I have no reason not to do this. I've been running with the code in this PR for maybe a month now, and I find it a little infuriating because it interacts kind of annoyingly with. Have you noticed how this built-in eagerly starts evaluating your Nix Flake formatter when you open a file in a project?
Yes.
And it does that with the idea that, like, well, you're probably going to look at these files for a moment before you save. And then when you save, it'll feel like instantaneous. But that the way that code path works is it triggers this code. And so now when you open an untrusted project, you immediately see this like prompt to trust the project, even if you aren't like editing or saving anything. So I can try to demo that if I clone this repo. cd infra, and then like viflake.nix. You can see I immediately get this like prompt. And I find this to be fairly annoying because I'm like often opening up random projects just to read code, not even necessarily to change anything. So I'm just like a little torn. And I'm talking to you because I think you're my only other user besides myself. It's like, does this feel acceptable, or should I come up with a different user experience?
This prompt is from NeoVim.
This is NeoVim, yeah. This is what happens when you call vim.secure.read.
strange API. With secure
Yeah,
read returns a boolean that tells you whether.
it's a very weird API. Because this API was designed around reading files. So
Uh-huh.
I think the idea is this read avoids like a sort of like race condition between checking if something's trusted and then reading its contents. But for directories where it doesn't really make sense to read the contents of a directory, it's a funky API.
Okay.
I proposed a less weird API as part of my fixing this bug in NeoVim, and they were like, not that excited about it.
They said, what? Weird is our bread and butter.
uh, let's see, where did I ask about
Now, that's a
this?
tangent I'm not concerned
Yeah.
about.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, but I think before you know, like if I have this built in, I don't even like know that this is going to happen. I'm like, wait, why am I even getting this prompt?
Right.
I have no indication that it's coming from the non-ls Nix-filmed, Flake-filmed built in.
Yeah,
How would
that's
I
a good
know?
point.
Maybe if it happened on save, I would have been able to guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a formatter. Maybe. This way, it's just inexplicable.
Yeah, it's super non-obvious. So maybe there's some way to get some text to show up here. Like, I don't know, would a message that gets printed right before this that said something like, I'm about to format this thing. What's funny is we're not actually about to format here. We're just like preparing to format in the future.
Maybe a default behavior should be to defer this until formatting is triggered.
Yeah.
And when people find that annoying, they'll go to the project, to the documentation for this built in, and like find a knob that allows them to do this early. That in combination with adding more text. This is coming from the built-in.
Great. I like that. And then what I did in none-ls, find Nix font, is that it? Yeah. So here's the code, which is called in this dynamic command, which okay. So this is like the eager loading code right here. Setup buffer async.
Hmm.
And this is where we like trigger the dynamic command when the buffer's opened. And we don't actually do anything with the resulting command, right? Like we just do that because it might be cached under the hood, and the next time we need it, it'll be instantaneous is the idea. And you were saying, so like one thing we could do is we could, remove this code entirely, right? And then the behavior for users would be when they open a file, nothing happens. And when they try to format a file, presumably by saving, then they'll get prompted with the do you trust this project or whatever. The downside of doing that is if it's a project they trust, then they don't get the like eager loading behavior. Like they'll open the file, nothing will happen. They make some changes and then they save, and then they've got to wait for a Nix eval to discover the entry point.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's a better.
What if they don't even intend to edit? What if someone cloning for exploration?
Right.
And this eagerness can be
It's not free, right? It involves putting stuff in your Nix store.
yeah. The eagerness could be either like off. So maybe it's like in three modes. Eager, lazy, or eager if trusted.
Oh, yeah. That would maybe be trusted as a way of sort of saying like, oh, you triggered a format in here before, so why not? Yeah, that would probably be the least, the fewest number of trade-offs. Don't distract people with a prompt like this until they actually try to save. And then if they're going back to a project that they work on regularly, they don't experience any delay waiting for formatting, or minimal delay. I like that. How'd you describe that? Lazy, eager if trusted?
Yes.
Okay. Rate. Okay. And I think I can do that. Basically, we need some way for this eager code path to like make it clear that we're doing this eagerly versus we're just discovering it because we need the command to actually run the damn command. So I think we can just pass an extra parameter here that basically says, yeah, we're doing it eagerly or not. Okay. Great. Thank you for that. That was very helpful.
Mhm.
Coming soon to a Vim near you.
And we are using Nix 229.
Oh, you've
over
got it?
here. Yes.
Oh, I've been waiting for it. How do you have it? I just did an update last night.
I did it, an hour ago.
Ah, 229 has the new formatter subcommand, which I added,
Yes.
and it will allow me to delete a lot of nasty code over in that nonetheless built in.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also be good to confirm that the nonetheless built in still works for you now that you are using Next 2.29. Wow, transparency. You're ricing things up a little.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I contributed Neovide to Home Manager, I believe. Didn't even have a. I don't remember what I do about Neovide,
Mm-hmm.
and I contributed transparency support for i3 status Rust and i3 bar river. This bar is composed of two programs:
Oh,
the
okay.
bar and the program that generates the content.
Got it.
So both of them, each of them has a PR open on Stylix for adding transparency support,
Awesome.
or
And
as it
you
called,
don't have to wait for those PRs to land.
I don't have to wait because,
Awesome.
right? I made it easy for me to have Git, what is it? Submodule status. One fork,
Cool.
another fork, at each at its commit. Is there like V? I
You
can,
could cat.get modules maybe.
well, I don't think it gives me much more.
Okay.
The funny thing is the URL of each of these submodules is here. Like they're literally cloned from here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that funny?
Yeah. Pretty strange. And then you do have submodules, like those folders exist, right? Like forks /
Mm-hmm.
home manager is a folder.
Yes. I
Okay.
step into Home Manager,
Nice.
and currently it's detached head,
Sure.
because when you do Git submodule update,
Right.
it that's what it does.
It just leaves it detached. Yeah. Or makes it detached, I guess.
In addition to this, I have this directory in which the forks are. For each one, there are two kind of two files that have metadata, like data about it, persisted. This is the base ref. So, for example, Home Manager, the base ref for Home Manager is master. For
Okay.
Stylix, it may be main.
And this is so you can have some tooling to like automatically
It is
pull from
master.
the right place or something.
To automatically rebase. This works
Got it.
together with the upstream URL. The upstream URL. This is the upstream
Okay.
URL. So when I can do it now, and I don't know whether anything will happen because I don't know whether it made progress. I did it an hour ago, so likely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I can do next run here. Uh, input fork rebase Home Manager. It'll step in there
Got it.
and simply rebase that on what we just saw, upstream master.
Makes sense.
And then if
Yeah,
it had made any
very cool.
change, I would have seen, but there's nothing.
Yeah, got it.
If I step into it, I can do a git log and see that this is upstream master. And here is like all of my cherry picks will be on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Very clever.
And thank you. Yeah, so far it actually worked. And here is how see this. I think I don't even need this
The path
this
colon.
prefix.
Yeah,
Yes, I don't think it's needed.
it's kind of nice for consistency with the other stuff, I guess.
Well, it's if it's unambiguous, then it's unambiguous. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
This is a thing, like, I'm not saying this particular way of doing it, but like the carrying patches to your dependencies is like something I wish every Nixer learned early on in their Nix career. And like there was a standard way that we all agreed upon on how to do it. Because I just think it's so damn useful. Especially with Nix packages where it's like, oh, that update or that bug fix or whatever. People are often just waiting and agonizing for like, oh, when's the staging branch gonna blah, blah, blah. Although honestly, when stuff's going through staging, it's usually like a bad idea to try to cherry pick those because it means you're rebuilding the world locally. And that's often, I don't know. Maybe you can do it because you've got a beefy machine, but I have found those to be bad ideas.
Sometimes it's just an additional package, right? Your patch is like
The
literally.
additional packages, I think, tend not to go through the staging. Staging is reserved
Oh,
exclusively
right,
for,
right.
yeah. So anyways, I hope that Lazy Trees lands in some reasonable amount of time, and then we can see what the next team thinks about flake input patching after that.
In the meantime, I should probably make this public in some rough manner to get more feedback to see perhaps I missed something here.
Yeah. I posted my thingy on the there's an issue with like CPP next about patching flake inputs. So I posted on that thread. I feel like that would be, the people on that thread are the people who care about this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And the photos on my background.
That's a lovely picture.
Thank you. They're all from my brother-in-law.
Oh, cool.
They're most, if not all, from Israel.
Mm-hmm. Is this the person who I scheduled a tour with?
Right.
Cool. And then we ended up not going, unfortunately. Nice.
This is probably Dead Sea.
Very cool. Wow.
Okay. This is nexted.
Okay. Oh my gosh. There we go. Got it. Third try. All right. All right. Get fetch. I don't know. Start 7. T open. Looking good, looking good. And cargo test. All right, did we leave a failing test for ourselves? I can't remember. I remember having a conversation about how are we going to remember where we left off. To do, this is fake. Okay, maybe we left to do's around. Oh, okay. Let's start here. Modules, manual. To do, debate where to put this. Should it really be one chapter or two? So this is we build Nixos option documentation for both PR Tracker API and Fetcher. And right now, that all lives in this modules/manual.nix. But we could move this into, what would it be, modules API? Probably here. Yeah, here. Oh, which we've started to do, it looks like. Chapters.api. Okay. So that's probably us planting a flag for the work, right?
Well, this chapter API is not for the NixOS module API. It's for the
this is about the
program itself.
Environment variables. Okay, great. Okay, so we got two different things we could do. We could have this debate, or we could work on the environment variable docs. I suppose.
I think it should be
Sorry, go ahead.
The environment variable docs.
Yeah, and then maybe we can do this in a follow-up, right? Like it's already in one place. We're not changing that in this PR. But if we are motivated to split it up, we can do that in a follow-up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether there's something strange about that. There's like the fact that we want to change it means that there's something strange about it. But I think that strangeness kind of it's made strange. Yeah, what I think is that these should be two different files. We have a NixOS module and we kind of renamed it to just manual, not anticipating that it would look weird. If it's called NixOS module, it kind of makes sense that it has both. If it's called NixOS manual, it makes sense that it's a manual for both NixOS modules. But now we're calling it manual, and we and then it has like some shared logic that determines the unified manual, right? It will have both NixOS modules documentation and documentation for both programs. But the documentation for each program is defined in the file of in the Flake module of the program. So this is a discrepancy between where is the documentation for the programs and where the documentation for the NixOS modules.
Yeah, I guess we already have a single page that documents the NixOS modules, and then a separate, I guess two pages for environment variable docs. And maybe it should be 4 pages rather than 3 pages. But we're not like...
I'm talking less about the pages, more about
Okay.
where the sources of truth are. In main, the source of truth for two NixOS for the documentation of two NixOS modules is a file called NixOS manual, which is already not ideal because it's like we're trying to module, right, like to separate concerns. But that's the state of main. It doesn't, we're not trying to discern about the possible improvement change. And what we are in the process of doing in this improvement change is we are trying to unify the resulting manual. And that means it'll have two NixOS modules documented and two programs documented. And implementation that we, in terms of sources of truth, what we have in this branch at the moment is a bit of a hybrid. Because the source of truth, well, the real source of truth for NixOS modules are the NixOS modules. But kind of what kind of turns them into Markdown is in this file, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So both NixOS modules are turned into Markdown in this file, whereas each program is turned into Markdown in its own program file.
Okay, I'm rotating over to you.
That's inconsistent, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying that inconsistency exists in main right now. We're not making it any worse.
I think we are making it worse because we are renaming this file from NixOS manual to just manual, and then we are adding more stuff to it. So we are increasing the complexity.
That doesn't change the distribution of like where the sources of truth are. Like it's just some names of files. But like today in main, we've got like environment variable documentation, nicely distributed, and then we've got like just a single place where all the NixOS options go together. And both from a code and user perspective, it's like 3 separate things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're saying we both would like for it to be 4 separate things.
Mm-hmm.
And we can totally make that happen. And it's just like do we do it in this PR or not?
or split the two NixOS modules in a previous PR.
I don't think we have I think that would involve us spending more time to get to where we want to go. So I don't think that's a good idea.
And some conflicts.
Yeah.
I would like to avoid those conflicts.
Yep. So let's not do that. Okay, so let's do the environment variables and then we'll circle back after that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's leave this to do alone.
Look,
Oh no, something broke.
Yep.
Some update.
TS context.
What is that?
Tree-sitter context. You see all like between there's line 14 and then 82, 89.
I see that, yeah.
That's line 1 to 14 is the context. It's an additional window that created dynamically.
Interesting. I've
So
never noticed
config
that.
here is in a let,
Yeah,
and it
gotcha.
gets large, can get large.
Yeah.
So I have a toggle for it, but apparently I no longer have a toggle for it. And that seems quite necessary. So I need to go to my infra and find out what's the new command for this and change the binding, if you don't mind.
Gotta do
Wait,
what you gotta
TS
do.
context toggle. Okay, this file it won't show up, but I can find a larger file. Scroll down a bit, and there's one line of context, and this doesn't work. Fortunately, I have command search,
Pardon me.
and now it's like one Lua function. Can I guess? Toggle. Toggle. Okay. So how do I do a Lua? It's like raw. What do I do here?
Probably.
Raw. It comes from in.
I honestly didn't
Inputs.
understand the code you had there before. What was that command
What this?
attribute? Yeah. This is not Lua. Okay. Got it. This is
Vim script.
Vim. Well, is it Vim script? It's definitely not Lua though, and it's something in the old school Vim world, but I don't know what the word is for this. It's like the map, right? It's like the
So key map specific syntax.
I think so. I don't think it's Vim script, or it's like it's a
Yeah,
superset of Vim script,
I
or some.
can't do this here.
Maybe you can.
I don't know. I'm going to search for the word raw.
Yeah.
These.
I think you want action equals make raw.
This kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how this is. This is nicer. And then it's function that does. Why is it like available? When I do, can you explain like in what context this is? This thing. What is that?
That is a Vim script global.
So I don't need a raw. Just need to change this to TS context toggle. That makes sense.
That sounds reasonable.
TS context toggle. Okay. Let's try this. NHOS test dot. You can test this easier.
I don't know why your tool used the word Lua when it was showing us the Vim script.
Oh, you mean the search?
Yeah, that was confusing to me.
Yeah, I suppose that's where I got the idea that it's Lua.
Maybe that's just like giving us details about what the Vim script global is equal to. Like, there must be some way to define these Vim script globals and have them call back to Lua code. And so that might be what we're seeing there.
Yes. Also, it's like has too much to fit on the.
Right.
So you don't see it all.
Maybe it's like the file and line number or something.
Whatever it is, you can run NixVim here.
Alrighty. Oh, pardon me.
And the way that Stylix supports NixVim is only in the context. It's like only in the context of Home Manager.
Yuck.
So this NixVim that is now running in my terminal instead of Neovide, which I run it usually. It doesn't have any of my styling. You see that it looks like I guess,
Sure.
default.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it inherits from the terminal, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, NeoVim has a built-in color scheme. It's like default color scheme, and like
Okay.
it has two. I mean, it has multiple, and it like even has logic to detect the actual RGB color of your like terminal's background, and then choose a light or dark color scheme appropriately.
So let's see whether this works. Go to slash. And by default, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, toggle it again.
Lovely.
Let's add this. Yes. Good enough. Let's push that. And it's OS switch. And we can rotate this.
Okay. All right. Modules manual 119. Self.packages.nixos manual. This is now we're just calling plain old manual, right? So that was an easy fix. This to fail in the same way. Here we go.
Probably be doing something.
Okay, so while that's chugging along, let's start writing out this thing. So we want to generate markdown from this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first question is this the information we need / want? Got a markdown description. We have an unordered adder set of these things, which I think we said we're okay with it being unordered.
Mm-hmm.
And then the types. Do those need more?
I don't think that we will do anything programmatically with the types.
Okay. Great.
Except that the the option means that it's optional for the line 28.
Right.
So we could, but we don't have to. We can be explicit about mentioning that this is optional.
Just in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Do we want to do like a markdown table? How do you want to do this?
I'm not sure. Be right back.
Okay. Environ API. Oh, we already have it. Great. Are we even using this? There it is. Wonderful. Okay. Great. How do markdown tables? Okay. Sure. So this would be something like name, description. Okay. lib.concat lines. Okay. What we're going to do here is something like lib.map adders to list. This is going to take a name and a spec, for lack of a better name, and var. And this is going to be something like boom name and var dot description followed by one of those. Okay. So what I've done here is I've started writing a markdown table with 2 columns, name and description. And then I'm doing a concat lines of all our environment variables. This is probably going to be nicer as a pipe. So I can change that. lib.pipe of api.environment variables. This will be lib.map adders to list, and then lib.concat lines. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm trying to do here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to try to build it.
Backtick
Next.
the name.
Backtick the name. Oh, right here?
Yes.
I like that. Okay, actually, mob next, I'll let you do that because my computer is drag-assing with these compiles going. Awesome. Wow. That looks astonishingly decent already. I think put a
Nice.
little preamble or something, and
Well, there
I don't know,
isn't a preamble now.
or not. I mean,
There's nothing.
well, there's a lot of distracting preamble, postamble, and sideamble right now.
Yes.
Uh,
So
and
this is an improvement.
some of that distracting stuff at least uses the word environment variable, and the page you're looking at doesn't use the word environment variable anywhere.
That's
So
right.
I would argue we should put a sentence before the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good enough for me.
Works for me.
Let's make it clear that the tracing filter is optional.
Yes.
Cool. Love it.
Okay. Right. Now we apply this to um, fetcher mix. It means that we probably want this to be a function somewhere. Or not, I don't know.
It's
Like,
so
what is this?
simple. I don't know.
This
I'd be
thing?
fine with duplicating it, but I do not feel strongly.
I think we stuck things in util, right? Like that are disparate.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
So, okay, so assuming this will end up in util here, we can write something like, what do we do here? Chapters.ibs. So there's chapters, but fetcher in the text. Oh, there's a write text. Is this part of a write text file?
Mhm.
This is only for the text. Text would be something like, it's only the table, right? And
I think the table would be the thing to extract, yeah.
environments, make and make md and table.
Yeah.
And
I would say something like environment variables to markdown. And then this would be fetcher dot environment variables. And then a little preamble. Love it.
okay, and it'll be made available here. So
Do we already scope our util under? No, we don't. Okay.
no.
Fine, fine.
So over here,
Mm-hmm. then this takes environment variables as an argument and returns a string.
Bars.
Sure.
Take all this. This. Click here, remove that.
Love it.
And
Okay.
do the trick. This removed. No, part of it removed. This removed.
Yep.
It's actually, I can just take this.
Almost. Yeah.
This. Put it here.
Cool.
Save everything. Do you hear anything other than me?
Something, a jingle in the background or something? I don't know. Okay. Got ourselves a trailing. Something went wrong there. Close. Are we indenting or something? What happened? How did we break that? Name description. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's the new line characters screwing it up. And
Where?
does fetcher look fine? Okay, this one's also busted, presumably also because of the new lines. So that markdown tables probably don't support new line characters in markdown. Maybe we shouldn't do a table.
I think the way in which they do support, no.
Or we could do a replace and add a BR instead.
If that's all the escaping that's needed, we can do that.
What's this? You should use grid tables. Well, okay, let's try the BR thing.
Yeah.
Just see what happens. So, oh, I don't even know how to do a replace. Do you?
Place strings.
From to
Every occurrence.
From to original. Okay, great. Lib.replace string.
It's a pipe already, so I think we should be earlier in the pipe.
Pipe already earlier in the pipe. I don't understand.
It's true that you can do it there, but I think the more cleaner way to do it is to have an additional member at the beginning of the pipe, something like map adders.
Okay, and then
This
what would
will remain the
it
same.
would produce an adder set? Like you're talking about a step here, right?
Yeah.
And then what would the result of that be?
The same adder set with the values having BRs instead of line feed characters.
That's going to be like a little annoying, right? Like we're going to have to do an attr set merge or something.
I think there are functions for that, like update something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know those functions. Yeah, I mean, this is where it like feels to me like forcing it into the pipe is just more work, and I don't see the value.
Fine, write it. Write it. Write
Okay.
it.
Lib dot replace string \n vr. Boom. And here we go. Plus, we don't even know if this is going to work, so I guess we should start there. Really? Lib dot replace string. Did you mean replace strings? No, I did not. That is not what I meant. Does this not actually exist? Oh, is this the wrong? No, this is not the wrong lib, is it?
I have no answer. Is this only under?
Lib.strings? This is a Noogle bug? So confused right now. So confused. Lib.replace string. Yeah. Is this a different lib? Is that what's going on?
It can't be. We have only one lib from Flake parts. Just a moment.
Mm-hmm. Did this get added recently? Huh. Yeah. This just got created a few days ago.
All right. What?
Gugina
This
Gergo and edited this just a few days ago. Neato.
is like a singular version of
Yeah. Replace strings probably existed beforehand.
a few days ago. I literally just rebased. So what? It's not in unstable yet.
You just rebased.
Yeah, before our session, I just rebased
I see.
that
Okay.
branch.
Well, let's use our tool.
A few days ago. Oh, but I rebased it on what happened in CI, which happens on a Sunday.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Next packages. Commit blah.
So how are you going to find out whether this is an unstable?
I mean, you can see what I'm doing, right? B2/landings. Boom. It's in Nixos unstable as of the last run of our fetcher.
Right. We're using its packages unstable.
Okay, so it's not in as of the last run of our fetcher. It's not in Nix packages unstable.
Yeah.
How do you know what we're using though? You just have that memorized? Okay. Yes, we are. Nice. Okay, so shall we use replace strings?
Sure.
Okay. So how does replace strings work?
It's like a list instead.
It's two different lists, from and to. Huh.
Yeah. If you find this, replace it with that. If you find this, replace it with that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Here we go.
I think this does not have to be on strings, probably also on global, top level.
There we go.
All right.
That didn't work though. Hard refresh. Ah, there's some aggressive caching going on there. Okay, I'll rotate mob next. Take it away, sir.
So I can build one of these. And it seems like we have it.
Do we have Rust stuff to delete? Or is that nothing to delete? We were just getting those docs on that struct for free.
Oh.
Probably nothing to remove there, right? What about like
what?
integration into using it though? Like all the NCI stuff can go away, right?
All the all the
Yeah, like program docs, that doesn't exist anymore, or doesn't need to exist anymore.
this.
Yeah. So we can just start unraveling the sweater starting here, right?
This is now deleted.
Okay. So there was a reference to it in a GitHub workflow, which is going to be hard to find other than just grepping.
Yeah, I think I just opened. Do not import it.
Bye-bye.
Well,
Now we're just building a thing called manual.
this definitely disappears, and I don't think we'll need a directory because we have just one thing.
Great.
So I'll remove that make dir. I don't think we need to be copying anything again because, right? So this will probably change to result.
Or nix build -o if we want a nicer name than result.
I don't mind.
Okay,
It
great.
being result.
And then just
And this will
.hash
be
manual.
manual.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it, love it. And then there's more NCI stuff, right? Like include in something something. Right, like didn't we do some funky thing
Yes, we did.
to exclude all the crates except for 2?
Here this is the file set stuff.
That's fine.
This is the implementation of the file set stuff.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like include in docs? Or I think the word include was involved. I might be misremembering.
But okay, so we can go to API. Docs. That's doc. Dog, dog. This thing, including project docs.
Yeah. Can you search for all occurrences of that?
So I'll start by removing this.
Sure.
And this kind of, I'll leave this. It's a bit too long. Now, let's see what it looks like. I don't know. This is a formatting problem. I want to keep it. Include in project docs. This is a similar thing. So I'll take this, put it here. Take that, paste it over.
Great.
And that's it. Include in project.
Okay.
Docs
I thought we
gone,
had to
but
do something funky to like default it to false, but maybe that changed after we made a
maybe we
feature
already
request.
removed that
Okay.
somewhere.
Cool. And now, are we going to also remove the unnecessary crates, or is that a follow-up?
That's a follow-up, yeah.
Okay.
Because it already works.
Great. Then I would say I consider this PR to be done.
Let's do next click show. We don't have anything strange here. Apps, we have apps. That shouldn't be any different. The integration, packages. The heck is a pack? Oh, this is a check, sorry. Packages manual. Straight from. And is there a way to let Eclipse Flake show with only my system? That would be silly, right? Formatter.
I don't think that would be silly, but I don't know of any way to do it.
It's quite arbitrary. Say, I happen to know that I'm not interested in any other system.
I don't think it's super arbitrary, right? Like in an ideal world, all the systems behave exactly the same.
Interesting to say. Right, check. I can continue searching for something like manual, cargo lock. This seems correct. README. Oh, well, the README needs to be changed.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, it does.
Here.
And what are you thinking?
I'm tempted to take all of this and put it in the manual now that it's a unified manual.
Yeah.
And the README could be very minimal, like be included in the manual, like the what and the how, and then from downward here all this can be stuff in the manual.
Yeah, that seems fine to me. I think including the README in the manual gets weird if we want the README to be able to link to the manual.
Yes, although I've seen that happen quite often. That particular oddity.
Yeah.
And then I end up. But in this case, yeah, you're right. I mean, the README.
My inclination would be to treat them as separate things. And moving this into the manual or some subset of this into the manual. Seems reasonable to me.
Could take kind of an extreme approach and say, no, the README doesn't really have much, just a link to the manual. But that's like not the best, sometimes not the best experience.
Mm-hmm.
I like the kind of the middle ground approach of the README is included in the manual. It's simple and it's not too bad that the manual ends up linking to itself in one of its pages.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if we really wanted to, I think we can probably omit that in a little bit of cleverness.
Yeah, we could probably figure something out.
The question is, in this PR, in this commit.
Yeah, I think just fix the links and let's land this.
Just fix the links.
There are 3 links. Line 33, 38, and 45.
GitHub.io. Just fix them in this commit. I think that works for me. But say I didn't even open the timer yet. Put it on the other screen. And next flake check pass.
Pop it.
Rotated.
Okay, mob start. So okay, so I can make a wild ass guess. I think this is going to be /API.html, not /API. That'll be PR tracker /API.html /API.html. This is fetcher.html. Yep. And then /nixos.html. Sound good? Oh, is this me? Why can't I hear anything?
It's me, sorry. I would commit this because it's like, okay, we make progress, but this is now kind of nasty because really these things should be together. Now we made them kind of, but did we make it worse in any way? No, I don't think we made it worse. It
We've
was
not
already
made
this
anything
way.
worse. I do want to just clean this up. So I'm going to change this to a to-do. We agree we should split it into 2 chapters. We're just not going to do it in this PR.
Yeah, we don't. I don't think we have to-dos in this code base. In the comment.
Well, let's take a look because we currently have 3. To-do, this is fake. That's a lie. No longer fake. Consider extracting this and debate where to put this.
These two are one.
Okay, great. All right. Git diff unified manual. Here we go. So our build got simpler because there's one manual. Our README hopefully has the right updated links. We have a manual instead of 2 separate things. API now has this pulls in this helper function, has a more nuanced description. So that's, I guess, something we changed, which is fine. It makes sense because it makes the documentation more readable.
Well, hold on. How is
Didn't we already
how is
land the Rust refactor on main?
I guess,
Because we could and
and
didn't break
in the
anything.
in that context, it does not. Uh, in that context, that's not even right. So that's yes used in the program docs, Rust doc, and okay, so it doesn't break anything.
Yeah, I think this is reasonable. And then we define a chapter. Very simple. This goes away. We're looking to get rid of the API config crate at some point. Maybe this isn't even mentioning it. Yeah, that's the name of the crate we're getting rid of, API config. But we're not doing that now. Excuse me. Okay, fetcher, same, very similar treatment. The manual changed in a big way. So this is basically a new file at this point.
What's up with the syntax? I like the.
No idea what it's
That's
trying to
wrong,
tell
right?
us.
I think it's just wrong.
Yeah. But I remember writing this code. It all seems reasonable to me. This is the juicy bit here. Generating markdown. Summary. And we, after some debate, I'm happy where we landed here. The summary lives in a single place. So there's no like weird like module system merging and ordering or anything like that. And then make chapter link, which must get used somewhere.
Above
Above.
in the summary.
Oh, okay. Kind of a. Okay, makes sense. Great. Okay. Options. Yep. So this is what lets us split it out into pieces, which is great. And we add one here, but I think we have a to do to, well, we no longer have it to do. We had it to do a moment ago. And then here's the actual building of the manual, which is pretty simple. Symlink a bunch of stuff, symlink all the chapters, run the MD book, and then add a check. So that's lovely. Nixos manual is gone. Goodbye. Program docs is gone. Goodbye. And then there's our util. I feel good about this. How about you?
Yeah.
Mob done. Git commit. Okay. All right. And then I don't know what to call this. We've refactored the documentation.
It's a unified manual.
But what's the like conventional commits
Oh,
slug?
docs.
Docs,
The type.
unified manual. Sound good?
Yeah. And there may be a issue for this. Completes closes an issue.
Yes. Unified manual. Okay, great. This completes blah. Actually, I think I can't do the markdown link syntax when you do that.
Probably also needs to be on the same line.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it is now. Nick's flake check. I think I've got stuff cached, so this hopefully won't take forever. Oh no. We change it to do or something? What is this? No. All right. I'm gonna push this. Do you wanna do the Nick's flake check?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Git switch unified. All clean. Right check. That's okay.
Wonderful.
Switch main. Have I thought I did replace. Maybe I didn't replace. Rebase. Git all rebase. Oopsie. Check.
Mm. Okay. And then two things that we talked about doing that are not written down anywhere. One is deleting the two unnecessary crates now. API config and fetcher config. And then the other is splitting up the Nixos options into two separate chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Since we don't have issues in the backlog nor to-dos for either of these, I could probably just forget about them and not lose sleep. But if we are motivated to work on them, I can be motivated to work on them as well.
Yeah, I would start with the crates.
Okay.
Like just a relic. Move the relic.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do you want me to do that, or do you want to?
I'll do it. I'll start.
Great.
Here, the checks passed and
Wunderbar.
push to main. Git push D origin unified manual. Branch D manual. Yes, really. Git switch C. RAM extra crates. Start create. This. Okay. Those extra crates. They need to be merged into their parents, right? Like, here's one. So there it is, and its parent. Where is it used? Can I like find out? I can't grab a hold of the struct, so I cannot find out where it's. But here is the struct, so I can. So I can do like find references. No, let's do references. Let's see. I think it just didn't index it. This thing should be usable across, the workspace. So I don't know why it's not working. Let's open API source lib. Now that I've opened it, will it find me the reference? No. It doesn't.
Very cool.
Now that I've saved it. No, still not. But it is. Huh. It's not found here.
It's not in
Maybe it's in
lib,
main.
right? It's in
API main. Okay, now that this file is open, does it find? No, it still doesn't find. And if I save this file, it still doesn't find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all gotta do is take these lies and make them true somehow.
Take these lies?
You don't know this one? All I have to do now is take these lies, make them true somehow. All we have to see is that I don't belong to you, don't belong to me. No?
Not ringing a bell.
George Michael.
It's the kid from Arrested Development.
Pop singer.
His name is George Michael. That's funny. I wonder if that's a joke from Arrested Development I never got.
Huh. Should this be a module called config in that we could just take this whole instead of adding it to this file? Like
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be bothered putting it in this file. Like, it's not getting used anywhere else, and this file's not very big.
it's not big.
But I trust your Rust Spidey sense.
Yeah, because it has these couple of things as well. Like if it was just this, that's why I want to put it in a module.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Totally fine.
So
maybe
mods,
this will help me learn what a Rust module is.
Actually, yeah, when there's main and lib, API source. I think this means there are like two crates here. No, that's not.
There are two crates. Where?
How do we import like main? How does it import anything from? See this?
Mm-hmm.
This is lib. Because
Okay.
if you think about it, it's the same crate name. Like if we go to API cargo toml, the name of this crate is PR tracker API.
Mm-hmm.
So how does main import something from its own name? See what I mean?
Sorry, are you asking a question?
I'm raising a question.
Okay.
And I'm explaining that by saying, well, there's actually two crates here. Two crates. Actually, I don't know the semantics of this because this API source lib, because this one, if I do crate, will this work?
I don't know. You did something and then it disappeared. Okay, it jumped around. Okay.
Consider importing this module instead.
It's talking about home?
Well, unresolved import. I think that's the point here.
Okay. All right.
You see what I mean here? It's like it's not the same crate. In main, if I mention PR tracker API, it goes and refers to lib.
Mm-hmm. Okay. PR tracker API is an importable thingy. It's importable from main. It's also importable from other crates. Main is not an importable thingy, right? Like you can't write code that imports functions or structs defined in main. Is that right?
Yeah, but I think it's important to understand if I'm correct that this is like a shorthand. Having a main and having a lib in the same like crate results in some implicit here under package. This can all be configured, and it's currently equivalent to something that I cannot, from the top of my head, add here to show you.
Okay. I'm like 30% sure that I am getting the point that you're trying to make. I'm not saying there isn't a point there. What branch are we?
Do a fetch and that one.
Okie dokie. Okay. So what we've done so far. Whoops. RM extra. We haven't changed anything yet. Is that right?
Seems like it.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, so you didn't save any changes. We had two files open, but we didn't actually make any changes.
I suppose.
Excuse me. Okay, great. So this thingy. Where do you want to put it?
Yeah, I think it probably should be in lib.
Okay. So
No, so lib. The reason we have lib is because it's pure. Does that make any sense? Like the lib is ever like tested via yeah, I think it is, right? Like the endpoints. I think that was the point of that.
sorry, I'm not following.
That main is very impure.
Impure. I don't know what that means.
It has one function, main,
Mhm.
and that does things with the environment, does IO. It executes on reading that environment.
But you mean like pure in the functional sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, lib is impure, right? Like it connects to a database.
Yeah, that's true. But we consider the database part of the same system, kind of. Because lib does not only connect to a database, it only starts that database.
Lib does not start the database.
It does. It does not.
No.
Um,
It connects to the
what,
configured
what's
database. The database is
what
configured
starts?
by our development utility scripts, which happen to be written in Rust, but they start up Postgres and using Fragile Child or whatever, and then start up the
Right.
API server, and then our tests, they also use our database context helper thingy. So
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of why lib is there.
well, did we choose that name or did Rust choose that name for us?
I think I'll tell you what happened. I think so. How many files do we have at all in total?
In total, in the
in
entire
in API crate.
like this right here, these two.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why it's called lib, because it's like the only other. It's like a default name, like the only other module other than main.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called lib.
Okay, but is this a magic string or is it just something we chose?
I think it's also a magic.
Oh, okay. It has special
string.
meaning to cargo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Got it.
Does.
Okay. So do we want to create a new file called config.rs or environment.rs, or how do we do this?
At this point, where we are going to create another module file, then I think we also should not have lib anymore.
Okay.
Possibly. Unless we are we we have lib because we are importing from it from integration tests. Is that what's happening? Lib is exporting stuff. Do we have in this crate? We have integration tests.
I don't know what integration test means.
Tests that are not under source, that are under tests.
Like API /tests, like this?
Yes. All of these, the nature of them, that they're called integration tests.
Okay.
Their nature is that they don't have any private access, any special access to our code.
Okay.
So that's why we have main and lib, because we are testing kind of it's the public thing, some public things, but they're not public to our users. So I don't know why we made that artificial boundary. I think we enjoy some of the guarantees of integrate. We kind of said, okay, since these tests are so impure, they probably should not be unit tests. The other kind of tests, because they start database and such.
Yep.
They're integration tests, and then we have to have some public items, because they're not merely doing end-to-end. End-to-end would be using the executable.
I see. Okay. Got it. Sure. Yes.
So we have the outer layer where the executable gets compiled from. It's called main.
Mm-hmm.
Main uses lib. Lib exists because we have these strange integration, but not end-to-end tests. And then if we want to add a new module, we have I think it should be.
Okay, I'm gonna rotate back to you.
Probably the tree should probably not split from main to anything other than lib. Right? Main should depend on lib, and lib should depend on other modules. Does that make sense?
This is so Rust specific. Like I have no idea. Like what I don't
I don't have
understand is how
Rust.
special lib is in the Rust ecosystem, and if that's the way everything has to be, because that's the only like if we have to do it the way you described, because lib is special.
It's not. It's special, but only because it's like you could have you could change it, the name, and like be what's let's go to the cargo book in I don't know what is it, targets targets cargo targets here. Cargo packages consists of targets which correspond to source files which can be compiled into a crate. So crates are things inside packages.
Crates are things inside of packages.
Yeah. Cargo packages
I'm
consist
not getting
of
that from that
targets
sentence.
which correspond to source files which can be compiled into a crate, because can have multiple crates inside a package. Packages can have library, binary, example, test, and benchmark targets. The list of targets can be configured in the Cargo TOML manifest, often inferred automatically. This is what I was referring to, inferred automatically by the directory layout of the source file. See configuring a target below for details. Library. Library target defines a library that can be used and linked by other libraries and executables. The file name defaults to source lib.
Okay.
The name of the library defaults to the name of the package, with any dashes replaced by underscores. The package can have only one library. That's important. The settings for the library can be customized in the lib table in the Cargo TOML.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the lib table.
Okay.
By default, there is something here that the value is, it has a field. This is the default value, but it can be changed. Binary targets are executable programs that can be run after being compiled. The binary source can be source main and or stored in the source bin directory. For source main, the default binary name is the package name. The settings for each binary can be customized in the bin tables in Cargo TOML. Binaries can use the public API of a package's library. That's what we're doing.
Okay. So
they're also linked with
don't need our environment variable struct to be exposed via lib, right? Like it does not need to be part of our public API.
Correct.
So does that mean it has to go in main.rs? Or is there some way to like split up your main.rs without making stuff part of your public API?
From what I'm reading here, you can have only one library. You can have multiple binaries, but binaries, I don't think they can import from any. But they can define. I think they can define modules of their own. Like if I do so, API main happen here. Maybe I'm here and reload. Yeah, main. I don't think there's anything preventing us from doing mod. What would it be? Config.
Sure.
or mod environment.
Sure.
Environment. Mod environment. Mod environment, unresolved module, right?
I
And then I
slightly
can
prefer
do,
config because like maybe in the future it'll be like a config file, like
sure. And then you see,
okay.
you can create that.
All
It's
right.
like a code action now.
Okay. And this is not going into lib. This is like a separate thing.
It's not,
Okay.
yep.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
And then I can go to it, go to definition.
Great.
Then I can do API
Config /lib.
config.
Yep. And just move that over.
Yeah, I guess. No, everything here is failing for some reason. But let's look at API config cargo toml, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here I'll open API cargo toml and see, well, oh, look, we have Camino here explicitly instead of from the workspace.
I don't know what that means. That mean it gets
We
a
kind of
different,
said we
it can
want
resolve to its own
all,
version.
it probably will merge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that we are merging this into that, I think we kind of have the opportunity to fix that.
Okay.
Do that. Config,
That's important.
right? So basically, I'm just I'm taking these, sticking them here, and I think we have a linter that sorts them, a formatter that sorts them.
Okay.
I think all this can just go away. So I will open this up, creates API config. Yep, I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
delete that.
Goodbye.
And I think we have like mixed thumbs. That failed. Maybe because
Failed to apply. Well, let's look at the error. This thing's written in Python. Nice. TOML kit. Very cool.
maybe it cannot sort something with duplicates.
Key already present. Key workspaces already exists.
What? I didn't add. I think it's because something here is duplicate. Right?
Yeah. Did it say key workspace or workspaces?
Here, config already exists. 30 already exists. 30 width. Workspaces plural. There's no workspace.
But the error said workspaces plural? No, it does not. Okay, cool. I just misread. All right.
Try this again from the outside. Steady. Well, rotating.
Okie dokie.
Apparently that was heavy-handed.
All right. So API.
Oh, you're sharing your vertical screen.
Well, that's really useful. Right.
Portrait.
Okay. So, this thing has a dupe, we believe.
Well, I think
tracing
the dependency PR.
subscriber.workspace. And it just sorted itself.
Good.
So I think we're good.
And what about like the line 4?
Okay, what about it? Oh, yeah, that shouldn't exist anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so I'll just delete it. Uh-huh, great. Cargo test. Should compile and everything, right? Not quite. API circ main. API circ main. Open up. There we go. Okay, so we're not doing anything with config here. Then this is not PR tracker API config, it's just mod config right there.
We will be doing something with config, I think.
Config like that.
The only thing we're not is because that other line failed, right? Yeah, that builder.
Okay, I don't know what this is. Environment.
Try autofix.
Is this a real thing? I can't go to definition on it. Environment. Environment. Okay, so do we need previous? Okay, I'm confused. Like why don't I see lowercase? So let me get these side by side, sorry. On the right-hand side here, there's a lowercase environment. Shouldn't I see a lowercase environment somewhere on the left-hand side?
No, because on line 3 on the right, it is re-exported.
Okay, what? Explain this to me. What is this saying?
It's an import. Well, line 9 declares a module.
Okay, so like the way I
in the
should
same
read.
file, so like a literal module instead of a file
Okay,
module.
so the way my Python brain would read this would be something like environment equals environment. Like I'm like getting my hands on environment from somewhere else and then making it available with this name.
And publicly.
And like exporting it with that name. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So like these uses are basically like long path, and then the last thing is like the binding that becomes available.
By default, yes.
Okay, but there's like some other way of saying like as foo or something.
Try saving. If that works, I think that's it.
Okay, that's fine. Well, that's how it is in Python at least. So that's all. Okay, that was very useful. I hadn't like had to learn any of this because the LSP does a lot of this. Okay, so now I understand why lowercase environment doesn't need to show up anywhere on the left-hand side. What I don't understand is the error. Why can't I like? Oh,
if you remember, you recently deleted 2 imports here on the left.
Okay. I do not remember.
One of them
This config
is correct.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But config is a trait from which
Okay. Bummer.
that builder method comes.
I see. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Another thing here. Oh, what's that?
Something is unhappy. Not found. So this is our included file. Tracing filter. This crate : tracing filter. It's not available. Weird, because we have it right here.
It's not. It's no longer the root of the crate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no longer the root of the crate.
Okay. So can I do something to make it available here? Like use something or other. Would that work?
I think it would work, but usually when doing code generation, at least with macros, this is not macros, right? But with macros, you kind of want to like make the macro expansion self-contained,
Mm-hmm.
not depend on something outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, feels like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's like the way we've written this thing, it's like,
It depends on that struct anyway.
depends on where the struct is defined.
Another part in this equation is that the only reason that we have this literal module called environment here is for the to have like a single module that will be document to have like a page for that module in the
Oh, okay. So we can
program
get rid of
docs.
that, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Okay. And then this pub use goes away.
I think it becomes yes, it goes away.
Okay. Love it. And now it can just be tracing filter without any qualifier.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
And again, this it kind of depends on something being
Yeah.
in scope, but it's type checked, right? Like it
Mm-hmm.
can't, break silently.
Yeah. I can live with that. Mob next. Go for it.
But something. Okay, but I wonder why this like fails now. If I reload,
Mm-hmm.
should have this environment variable, right?
You should.
And API sorts get me. And then there's config
Mm-hmm.
here. And this should now no. It's not. Something what echo API. It's here.
Mm-hmm. Does it build
So what
before we debug the editor? Because I'd like to know if it's an editor thing.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So can we confirm that your editor actually has that environment variable? Like do colon
I don't know.
terminal or something? Yeah, maybe echo.
Completes it and it echoes it.
Cool. Okay. And then can we confirm that your LSP has that environment variable?
I wouldn't. How do you do that? What?
Because that's the thing that
Do you know?
matters here, right? Is the LSP.
Yeah.
So I would look for the LSP process. You could get that with check health, colon check health space LSP. Just LSP. Yeah. And then there should be a Rust analyzer. And we should see a PID somewhere, I think. Does it not show us the PID? That's annoying. Well, we can get the PID. If you can get the PID of your NeoVim, we could look at the tree of processes underneath it. But yeah, cool. Okay, great. Love it. So that PID, I would then like cat/proc/that PID/environ and confirm that it has that environment variable.
336827. Huh. Okay.
API underscore.
Here.
Yep, there it is. All right, well, there's all the stupid stuff to check, all of which is working exactly how we'd expect. I don't know.
LSP restart. LSP restart argument?
Yeah, it needs.
Since oh, that actually makes sense. Invalid server name. Straight from the completion.
Yeah, this might be because what are we using? Rustation Vim or something?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not using the new
Rust LSP.
LSP API.
Restart. No, reload workspace. What can I say? Sad.
Mm-hmm. I agree, it's
Let's do
sad.
the other one.
Let's do it.
Fetcher config cargo toml. Fetcher cargo toml. Camino over here already. Config shouldn't be. Wait, shouldn't it be? Config is already here. Serde is there. So I can remove that. Fetcher config lib. This is so small. Fetcher main mod config created. Enter here. Take this, stick it here. RAM rates fetcher config. Does this have to do with? I think cargo fetcher cargo toml should not depend on fetcher config. This should I finish this with mixed flag check?
Give it a go.
Untracked files for some reason.
Yeah, we created
We
a
should
new
have
file.
two of them, shouldn't
Yeah.
we? Oh, maybe we have
Mob
mixed flag since
next
then.
would have added it, right?
If I will mix flake check, and then we can look at a diff with you.
Great.
I have next.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mob starts
dependencies are being built now, rebuilt, of course.
Okay. Git diff rm extra crates. Did I actually mob start? I did. Okay. All right. Lock file. We see this crate disappearing. This is probably the dependencies of the API crate, and that makes sense. Bye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, API config. And then Camino, I guess, got floated up to the top. This is probably supposed to be green, but is showing up blue.
It's an unrelated change. I find it hard to justify that Camino turning from asterisk to
Oh,
portrait
yeah,
shows
there it is.
unrelated.
All right, you want me to revert it?
Yes, I did it, and I want you to revert it.
Okay.
We can do that change.
We've got
autonomously.
better things to do. Okay, great. All right. Here we go. This goes away. This appears. Love it. It's detecting this as a rename. Very slick. Git. Well, go away. I don't need that. Okay. Yeah, we don't need that anymore because we're not wrapping it inside a mod. And then here we are. Why is that showing up as green? Oh, sorry. Config. Yeah. That makes sense. Right. That's the equivalent of that. Okay. And then this is new because there's a new module.
But that use, I think, should not be grouped with. The grouping is a bit off here anyway. I'll leave. We can leave it.
Okay.
The grouping is a bit odd anyway.
Does our tool like sort within groups or something, and then the groups are totally up to the human?
The groups are idiomatic. Yeah. Exactly what you said.
Okay, got it. Okay. Goodbye, fetcher config. Love it. Yep, fetcher doesn't depend on it anymore because it doesn't exist. This is nice and simple. Find config, and then we drop that because it's not at the root of the crate anymore. So related to the changes we made here. How's the flake check?
Still compiling.
Okay, let's write a commit message.
The refactor.
Okay, git commit. Oops. Refactor. Drop. Remove API config. And
don't you find it funny that we didn't need to do anything in Nix to like say, hey, there is no such crate anymore?
Yeah, we probably do have some stuff and then that's referencing it, and NCI just doesn't freak out.
In fact, Nix flake check failed.
Okay. Yeah, we do have references to it here and here. Are those the failures?
No. Different failures.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a git push because we wrote a nice commit message. Do you want to take over and we can fix the Nix issues?
Sure.
I'm not sure what we'll need to do to make the mob tool happy at this point. Will a mob start do the right thing?
Pull here.
Got it. And then do a.
You have a mob. You have a. I'll just get mob start is fine.
Okay. Cool.
What I'll do is -config. Find me some stuff. This.
Now we can just consolidate this, right? We don't need line 65. We can just move that up to line 62.
I will remove the suffix.
Okay.
And remove this. And move this here.
Great.
Delete that.
Love it. And then same thing for fetcher.
Big. Delete that. Move all of this. Like this here.
And delete drv config.
Delete drv config. Did I do that in the?
Yes, you did.
Delete drv config.
Or not. Okay. Wonderful.
-config now it shows up only in cargo lock. Unrelatedly.
The git ignore.
And that.
Okay. But we've got a problem. We still got a next problem?
We have a problem here. Fetcher source main.
Okay.
Underscore. Now we should search for underscore config. Like fetcher underscore config.
Okay.
That's not it. Config.
That's the first one, right? Oh, okay. So we just didn't get this working. That should say use config : environment.
Yeah, but what about the unresolved mod?
Don't know.
I never saved it. Now I did. The what?
I don't know. But we can definitely fix one thing. I understand it's not the whole thing.
Can we?
If you go back to that file where we've got the compilation errors.
Here?
Yeah. We can change line 8 to just plain old use config : Yeah.
This?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Huh. Why did it solve?
Did it? Or did we kick the editor in some way?
I don't know. It solved this problem as well.
That's unfortunate.
Some precedence problem we don't understand. Precedence considerations we're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, hopefully that'll do it.
When do you quit today?
We're hitting the road on Saturday, but we have to pack. I'm helping my brother out tomorrow, so just to kind of wrapping up things before we go for the rest of the week.
Sorry, when do you mean to end the session?
Oh, 10 minutes. So I think let's wrap this one up, and I think let's call it. For the other thing that we're not going to get to, the splitting up of the 2 pages, do you want to write that down as a thing that we want to do? Because I am probably not going to remember.
Did you know GH dash?
I do not know
Neither do I, except that I put it in my home.
it. Okay. It's like a UI
And
for a TUI for GitHub.
yeah,
Neat.
who needs web? Who needs web? I bet this could be mouse operated.
Sure looks like it.
I would bet wrong. I would lose the bet. But I also, okay. So how do I create one? That's what I want to know. Help.
Wow. Somebody put a lot of love into this.
I don't quite see. Switch to issues. Oh, hello.
Wow.
I don't quite see create create an issue. Oh, okay. Escape quits it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no creating of an issue. Right?
Yeah. Not seeing it.
Okay. Create.
This split Nixos modules into 2 chapters.
I was more concerned with splitting the implementation of the modules documentation into first option blocks page. That's what I was concerned with.
Okay. Right. And now, do we want to add it to our milestone? Or do we want to just rest easy knowing that we wrote this down and we don't have to think about it anymore?
How about an issue for as long as we're talking about milestones? Moving more stuff to the manual that's currently in the README.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling it. I could be persuaded, but I'm not bothered with what we have either.
I think now that we have a manual, then it should have maximum documentation, and the README should have minimum, and should be probably included in the manual.
Okay.
Move more things like README manual Does that make sense?
Right now, it makes sense. In a month, I hope it rings a bell for you. But I will play
I
dumb.
think should
And that
include
is not me being an
and
asshole.
stuff.
That is just me knowing
Then
I
go
won't remember.
preview to manual.
Okay. Sounds good.
This actually failed again.
Can we, sorry, can we put those in the milestone before we forget about them?
Sure. These 1, 2.
Do you want to make the case for both of these going in the milestone? Because I think if we're really focused on trying to like launch, I don't think 255
Yeah,
is worth
this
it.
one.
The README is like something our users are going to see, so I can see that.
Okay.
Cool.
This requires just pushing. Wait,
I thought we
I
maybe
did that. It's completed. Completes doesn't do it.
maybe not. Bummer. Oh, hey, it's also red, so maybe let's figure that out too. So much to do.
Red must be CI specific.
Yeah. Great. Great, great.
Release failed.
Hmm. We never looked at the release script.
It's just Nix like check.
Oh, is this like some timeout or something? Exit code 143. Disk space or or something.
Disk space. Unlikely, huh?
The runner has received a shutdown signal. I don't know.
I'm going to just run it again. And this, what is this?
Alrighty.
This we had a solution for that. Git diff ram tilde.
Do we like suppress the lint somehow?
This.
Cool. Great, great, great.
Probably in both of them.
Well, the other one we copied wholesale. I think with this fetcher, we were being a little too clever when we did it.
That looks better.
Cool.
And there's no way that this Probably takes a long time. Did you see that there was a comment there on the Magic Nix cache?
I did not.
Someone said that the community already figured out how to use the private GitHub cache
Right.
stuff.
I remember Determinate Nix's blog post about this saying we could reverse engineer their API, but we're not going to because we're worried that they're just gonna change something. So did somebody rebuild it?
Rebuild?
Or I don't know, what's the state of this? Like, did somebody change Magic Nix Cache to work, or have they forked it?
I don't know. Actions cache by cancer that have been from the ground. The new server has been gradually rolling out. Like somewhere at the end of here.
Zero clue how likely it is this will be accepted. Oh, neat.
Yep.
Do so at your own risk. Okay, so there's a PR from a community member. What did Graham say?
This is
Hey,
incredible.
oh, okay.
I'm so happy to see this PR. I read it in our thing this morning. I'm also happy to respond to your thoughts and perception about making cache more generally within dead space. Yep, read it if you wanna
Neat. Okay, well, I'll
read
subscribe.
it. But to see Graham happy about it, I'm also happy.
Yeah, cool. I was very curious what the official response was going to be there.
So this just passed, right? I'm going to done this. And I think it's commit amend at this point. I actually don't want to reset author because I'm here at the co-author. So I'll do code quit here. And I'll do it without reset author. That's better. And it's the same commit, I'm not changing. And I'm going to just branch. Let's do this. Okay. With log main is origin main has this. Git push d or origin. What was it just? Okay. It's probably this one. That's good enough for now.
Awesome. Cool. All right, I should crash.
Awesome work, Jeremy. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. And we'll, until next time, be well.
Bye.